Mm. Hell yeah, the green light is on. That means it's a green light, and that means it's a go. It's a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Saturday. Continuing this weekend of sleepless shenanigans. Going over a little bit of wrestling tonight. Got AEW Full Gear coming up. But first and foremost, we are going to jump right in and be covering some Survivor Series War Games, as William Regal says so everly so well. But it is... My goodness, you can tell I'm eager to get this thing started and I'm excited. But it is a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Saturday night. And it is your host, Mr. El Tucretente, the ultimate sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce everything he knows, a.k.a. Two Phone Tucker, a.k.a. Don't Call Me Broker Sag, because it's Mr. Keep the Love High and Hate Low. But now with that being said up, everybody's been having a blessed, wonderful day as well on the other side of the camera, wherever you might be watching from, whether it be watching live or watching afterwards. But I figure we could kick this thing off with a bang. Obviously, as always, we go ladies first. So we're going to be covering the Women's World Championship match, which is the great Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vacquet, as she once said. But no, Stephanie Valker is defending her Women's World Championship against Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella did just recently state in an interview that this run that she's on right now is her final run with WWE and her final run wrestling, which means I know Brie Bella's return, I'm sure, is right around the corner. Who knows? Maybe Brie appears at Survivor Series and helps cost Stephanie Vacquet her Women's World Championship, and then you get an and new Nikki Bella. However, as much as I wouldn't be opposed to that happening, because I think that would be awesome, I just don't really truthfully see that in the cards. I see it being a great, entertaining match, and I see Stephanie Valker and still your Women's World Champion. And like I said, as much as I'd love to see that title change hands, nothing against Stephanie holding the belt. I just would rather see Nikki hold it. As you know, as you might know, I am a member of the Bella Army. I joined a little bit later than most, but I did eventually become a honorary member of the Bella Army. I'm an honorary Bella soldier. But no, once again, I think it's going to be a solid match. I think I saw a lot of people say Stephanie doesn't need the Nikki rub. I don't think it's that. I think Nikki just wants to get in the ring and have great matches, because there for a long time she wasn't able to actually even do that. So I think it's going to be a solid match. I'm assuming that they're going to probably kick off with a War Games match and end the night with a War Games match. But as far as first match off the board for us, I'm going to go with Stephanie Valker and still. But I'm very curious as well to see what you guys got on all these matches. But to keep it on the theme of ladies first, we're going to go with what I think will kick off the night, at least I'm assuming, which is the ladies War Games match with the great, Rio Sky now, I should say. But you got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and now AJ Lee. They just announced on SmackDown, but as AJ Lee was coming to the ring, being acknowledged as the fifth member of the group, well, we found out who the fifth member of the other team is, which is the great Rebecca Quinn, a.k.a. Becky Lynch, who's been blowing up Adam Pearce's phone all week because she firmly believes that somebody was in cahoots to screw her over on her women's Intercontinental title match. But representing that team, though, you got Becky Lynch, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, along with Lash Legend and the great, the beautiful, the goddess that is Nia Jax. But as far as that match goes, I think that's going to be a banger. I think that's going to be right up there with the men's War Game match, but we'll get there. As far as, now see, with the War Games match, you got to go with what's the finish, who takes the pin, because only one person can take a pin in there. It's going to be tough. It's going to be great. I think Io Sky has another moment jumping off the cage. I think that'd be really cool. I think as far as who takes the pin, though, I'm going to go with Lash Legend takes the pin or Nia takes the pin. But most likely, I'm going to say it's going to end up being Lash Legend that takes that pin. Maybe Kairi Sane. But I definitely think that AJ and her group I think that group of girls is going to win for sure. However, there is an X factor in there of, do they let AJ pin Becky clean again? That I don't know. Does Becky pin AJ clean? I kind of thought that maybe as well, so they can continue their ongoing feud. So I think if Becky's team wins, it's Becky pinned AJ. If AJ Lee's team wins, I think it's somebody pins Lash Legend or Kairi Sane, would be my guess. But again, I think it's going to be a phenomenal match. I think it's going to be a banger. And then I think we're going to get banger after banger, as Sheamus would say. I know Sheamus is also out, though, with a shoulder injury right now. That's why he got replaced in the last time is now tournament. But I had to shout out the great Sheamus O'Shaughnessy. But with that War Games match, though, in the books, I think that's a good time to move on to what we got is John Cena in one of his last two matches ever. He is facing the greatest Mysterio of all time that somehow managed to become as great as he is, being raised by that deadbeat Ray. I hate to even mention his name. But Dominic Mysterio, though, I do believe will get his title back next Saturday at War Games. I do firmly believe that John Cena, I loved him getting that Intercontinental title and becoming the Grand Slam champ. Thought it was a phenomenal swerve. Thought that was really actually cool that they did that because I know it was met with a lot of backlash, but I myself was a fan. Fucking go out having some fun. Golden Shovel Cena returns. But as far as that match goes, I do believe it's going to be a great match. You got two left in the tank for Cena. It's this and then Saturday night's main event, and then it's adios. But I'm going to go with and new and becoming a two-time greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the dirtiest of them all, Mr. Dominic Mysterio, getting the 1, 2, 3 Gold Shovel Cena rub. But I think that, though, is going to be a solid match. And then that takes us right into the men's War Games match, which those teams are stacked. Those teams are fucking stacked to the nines. My goodness. On one team, you got Cody Rhodes, who, by the way, just got a great, phenomenal promo last night on SmackDown. But you got Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, OTC. Then you got the Usos, and you also have, I'm trying to think of who the fifth member is on that team now, come to think of it. Who am I missing? We got Cody, we got Roman, we got the Usos. We also have CM Punk. How could I forget the man that's on my wristband? I overthought the hell out of that. For some reason, I just couldn't picture it. But you got CM Punk, you got Roman Reigns, you got the Usos, and you got Cody Rhodes, which he doesn't have a cool hand gesture, so fuck him. But I do believe that the other team I'm thinking of, we got The Vision, which is Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, who's unintentionally maybe the funniest guy on the roster. And then you got Bork Laser, a.k.a. Brock Lesnar, and you got Drew McIntyre, who just attacked and assaulted Cody in his bus, which that bus might be bad luck for Cody Rhodes. That thing might be an American nightmare of its own, is just having that bus anywhere near the arena. But with that being said, though, I think that that's going to be match of the night. I don't know if they're going to end up announcing a fifth match, but whatever it is, it ain't going to outdo that. I'll tell you that much, especially with how loaded and stacked that is. Not saying that the women's War Game match isn't stacked either, but I don't think Brock Lesnar's teamed with anybody in over 20 years. I think I saw somewhere that it was with Shinsuke Nakamura in the early 2000s, because the last time he was going to team with somebody, it was going to be, come to think of it, it was going to be Cody Rhodes, when he attacked him in the middle of the ring. And then I think before that, it was like 2003, maybe, in a Survivor Series, 5-on-5, if I'm not mistaken, Team Lesnar versus Team Angle. I had to think about that for a second. But I think that match, though, is going to be awesome. I think that's going to be phenomenal. Trying to figure out who takes the pin in that. Good luck. Process of elimination, I don't think it's Drew. I don't think it's Punk. I don't think it's Roman. I don't think it's Cody. Brock ain't taking no fucking pin. Logan ain't taking the pin. Braun Breaker ain't taking the pin. McIntyre ain't taking the pin. If it's Lesnar's team that loses, I think Bronson Reed's going to eat that pin. He's going to eat the 1, 2, 3. If CM Punk's team loses, I think it's going to be Jimmy Uso or maybe even Jay Uso that takes the pin. Captain Yeet himself. But I think that's, once again, I think that's going to be a phenomenal match. I think that's going to be greatness off the charts. I'm looking forward to this card big time. I think there's a lot to look forward to on there. I know people are kind of speculating, do we get the Jericho return? I doubt it. Again, though, there's a fifth match in Limbo. There's maybe a promo in Limbo. Who knows? I do know that they're doing the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, which is Team Sammy versus the MFTs. Which is going to be on Friday Night SmackDown, which I think that'll be a really entertaining match as well. Glad to see them keep the traditional Survivor Series match alive. Big cheers, big pros. Sweet, sweet lemonade and vodka. But vodka. But to go from there, though, talking about Survivor Series and talking about War Games, I actually can say that I'm blessed enough to be able to say that I went to Survivor Series 2004 back when it was live at the Gund Arena. My goodness, I just aged myself right there. But I remember Eddie coming out on the lowrider, though, the Viva La Raza era. I remember Maven getting his head busted by Gene Snitsky backstage and come running to the ring as the fifth member. Shout out, hey guys, Maven here. But that match was that night was absolutely incredible. One of the pay-per-views that I got to see live, which then kind of led me to thinking, because I'm curious to see not only what you guys got as your bold predictions, hot takes, and maybe even potential spoilers. Hey, if Triple H texted you, let me know, because I haven't got the Triple H text recently. I think that Survivor Series, though, it's obviously one of the cornerstone pay-per-views. It's one of the main four every year. It's one of the big four, I should say, which has left us with so many matches, so many memories, so many debuts, so many moments over the years. So I'm curious to see what your guys' favorite are as well. But I'll share one of my favorite matches and one of my favorite moments as well. Then we can have a debate and talk about it in the comments. But obviously, I wasn't alive for it yet. But I do believe that Undertaker debut with the look at the size of that ham hock always has to be talked about as far as favorite Survivor Series moments goes. But as far as ones that I've personally witnessed, my favorite Survivor Series match of all time will always be the Elimination Chamber in 2002, the debut of that. That card, top to bottom, front to back, bottom to top, was just absolutely insanity. Even had the infamous spot where Rico was yelling at Jeff Hardy up on the fucking apron to get back in the spot. That night, though, was absolutely incredible. Brock Lesnar had a great moment with Big Show that night, where Paul Heyman infamously turned on him and went with Show, creating that great feud. But that, though, would probably be that, and then followed by the 2003 and then the 2004. That run of Survivor Series right there, they were in their Birkin bag in WWE. That pen was on fire with that shit that they were writing. I mean, like I said, from 02 to 03 to 04, which again, thankful I got to see the 04 one live. And wow, my goodness, that was absolutely just an incredible 3-year run of, I would say, the best Survivor Series of all time. But yeah, that Elimination Chamber match, though, in 2002, ooh, buddy, that one's hard to beat. And then I'll follow it up with an 03 match, the ambulance match with the infamous JR Cole. Send it! Send what? What's he mean, send it? During the Shane O'Mac Kane ambulance match, where Shane was going balls to the fucking wall. He was on 100,000 watts all night long of energy. And that's always one of my all-time favorite Shane McMahon matches, and one of my all-time favorite Kane matches, and my all-time favorite feud for both of them. So, of course, I had to throw that one out there as well. As far as all-time favorite Survivor Series moments go, though, that one gets a little bit tougher. The Buried Alive match, where as a kid I remember being absolutely terrified, thinking that Kane was going around burning people alive and now burying them alive as well. Because that was right after he burned JR, and then I thought he just killed the Undertaker. I was freaking out. But as far as all-time favorite Survivor Series moments go, though, again, that Undertaker debut, that's tough to beat that one. Thinking back, though, Survivor Series moments, yeah, I'm going to probably go with that. And then I'm going to go with when Undertaker got buried alive. Just again, I remember thinking at the time, what in the hell is going on? That is absolutely insane. But as far as my last favorite moment, though, that I'll give, because it's embedded in my brain and it's like I can close my eyes and take myself right back to the moment. But I'll never forget hearing Eddie Guerrero's music hit and him coming out there on that glossy lowrider looking immaculate as always and hitting us with the Viva La Raza on the back of the fucking lowrider. That to me was just iconic. R.I.P. Eddie Guerrero, gone way too soon. But now that we shared those, I'm excited to see what your guys' favorite matches and moments are as well. And to close us out here, I will be doing a little bit of a Q&A, I suppose. So I'm going to throw out a couple of questions that I had here ahead of time, and for everybody watching as well. If you guys want to throw out your questions, I will answer as many as I can before we get up out of here. But my good brother, Scotty Doesn't Know, a.k.a. Scooter McGavin, I'm excited to see what he thinks when he checks this out, because he asked me a question that he wanted me to cover on the show as a part of the Q&A as well. So we're going to kick it off with Scooter's question, which is, does Finn Balor deserve to have one more world title reign? And as far as what I've been thinking on it since he asked me that question, um, does he deserve another reign, world title? That's hard to say no against because it's Finn Balor and he's a phenomenal, great wrestler. I'm a bigger fan personally of the demon persona, the demon gimmick, which I think unfortunately got buried because Vince McMahon just hated fiends and hated demons for some reason. But as far as that one goes, though, that one little tricky. Do I think he deserves maybe another world title reign? I'll go sure. Do I think though that he gets one? That push would have to look. I'd love to see what that would look like because right now he's damn near in the jobber day, in the jobber squad, the judgment day. But it's gonna be tough to get him back into that main event picture again. I'd love to. I wouldn't mind seeing it happen, but I'm sorry, Scooter. I personally just don't think that that's in the Finn Balor cards. But it does not take away from how great Finn Balor is as a wrestler, and he can get over anything as well. And he's super incredible in the ring. I mean, that goes without saying. He's even pretty damn good on the mic, despite the accent not really giving him any favors most of the time. But no, Finn Balor, does he deserve another championship reign? Yes, I think some of them got fairly screwed over in the past, especially when he won the first undisputed championship and had to forfeit it due to injury. So, yeah, you know what? He does deserve another reign, but will he get it? You might want to cross fingers and leave some forks in the freezer, brother, because I do not know if that's going to be in the Finn Balor cards, especially anytime soon. And then for the other question, before if I open up the floor, see what everybody else has got, I was hit with a question of what is my all-time favorite merch. So I'm excited to see what you guys got as well as your answers, but I was asked on Twitter to cover what is my all-time favorite merch. Well, as somebody who's bought a lot of WWE merch, whether it be t-shirts, hoodies, bracelets, hell, even foam fingers. I got the yeet and I got the what. Two of what some people would call the most annoying phrases in pro wrestling, but guess what? I love it. What? And when I think of favorite merch, though, man, I can't just do one. So I'm going to revive something that some of you like, some of you don't. Either way, I love doing it. So we're just going to go right ahead and do it. I'm going to give my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling merch. So for my Mount Rushmore merch, no particular order, you got to do the DX shirt. The 2 words for you. You got to do the vintage black and white DX shirt. Come on now, don't play yourselves. For number 2, I got to go with the WrestleMania 17 button down. I think that did not get enough love, and I think they definitely should have continued them. Tied with the WrestleMania 17 button down is the WrestleMania X8 button down. When it was X7 and X8, those button downs look absolutely incredible. In fact, I even got the WrestleMania 17 one. It's just not an OG. It's kind of a vintage repress of it. But for my number 3 all-time favorite merch, I'm going to go with the John Cena Doctor of Thugonomics t-shirt where it was Word Life back in the Foam Nux era. Got to go with that. I loved that shirt as a kid. That was a must-have. I remember when I got that sucker, I was like, yeah, this baby might not be coming off. We might have to be prolonging some showers here. We might have to turn into one of the sickos and just keep rocking it. But for my 4th all-time favorite piece of wrestling merch, so much great merch comes to mind. But as a kid, I'll never forget, I got it. And I went to Catholic school, for those of you that don't know, kindergarten through 5th. And on dress down day in 4th grade, I decided to wear my Evolution t-shirt that my mom was not aware of what it said on the back. And my dad wasn't aware that I was wearing it to school that day. And I didn't know what the words paid, laid, and made meant. So imagine being me in 4th grade with the Evolution t-shirt on, thinking, oh, hey, I just got this new shirt at the wrestling show. Everything's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be cool. And I'm not even about 10 feet into the building. And I have a nun, Sister Mary Kay, to be in fact, looking at the back of the shirt, damn near grabs me by the back of it and goes, Lucas, where'd you get that shirt? Where'd I get this shirt? Well, thanks a lot, Sister Mary Kay. I actually just got it at Raw a couple weeks back. Why is that? Why am I going to the principal's office? This is goofy. This is weird. Why are you calling my mom? What, do you want to tell her how fire this shirt is? Because, again, I think it's a great shirt. Come to find out that paid, laid, and made actually meant something little bit on the crude side for a fourth grader to be wearing at a Catholic school. So they weren't too pleased about that. And I had to have my mom bring up, Madrino, bring up an entire change of clothes, change of shirt. So that's how you ruin a good dress down day, really. But no, that being said, though, as always, a lot of fun, bumps and bruises, baby. Excited to see what you guys got as your bold takes, or yeah, your bold takes, your hot take, and your potential spoilers. And as always, it's Mr. Keep the Love High and the Hate Low, Mr. Wake Up with a Smile on, Mr. Look in the Mirror, remind yourself, I love you. And as always, wake up with that smile on, keep the love high and the hate low. Peace. And by the way, let's watch some Full Gear, baby.